Okay, so I missed 1 point on part A of the first question because I added a new climb to a certain index in climb list, but it wasn't the correct index. I chose to just take out the index altogether because I want to add new climb. The climb infos in the order in which they are passed in. So I just need to add it to the end. And if you don't include that parameter specifying the index, and it just adds it to the end. That's what Java does. So that's why I missed that question. I also missed part B by 1 point because you said, if my new climb has a name that actually comes after every other object in the array list alphabetically, then my function will actually just break out of the function without actually adding the new climb into the array list. So I fixed this by saying, by first declaring new climb and initializing it using the two parameters that are passed in. Second, I use a for loop using the variable iterate to go through every single object in the current climb list. And then we use if to compare the lexicographic values of our new climb's name and the name and the lexicographic value of the name of the current object in climb list, which is specified by iterate and .get using iterate. If our new climb object has a lexicographic value that is less than 0, or less than the lexicographic value of the current object in array list, then we're just going to add the new climb object to the current iteration using iterate to the current index. And then since we already added the new climb, we'll just break out of the for loop. Now the new added line of code that I added to fix this, I said if we're on the last iteration of the for loop and we haven't added any we haven't added the new climb to the climb list array list yet, then that means our new climb is just the last object in the should be the last object in the array list alphabetically, because it has a name that comes after every other object name alphabetically. So that just adds the new climb object to the end of the list because it would be the last object alphabetically anyway. Then you just break out a loop because the for loop wouldn't end naturally, and then it's over. Now I also missed these two questions, these just yes or no questions, because I realized that if you just use distinct peak names, which compares the objects to the ones before them and after them, then if they're just put in randomly in the order that they're passed in, well then there could be an object that's similar to, that has the same name as the one at the beginning and the one at the end, but they would never actually recognize each other because of the way that distinct names works. So if it's passed in using, just the way it's passed in that order, then it couldn't possibly work. So that's my new answer. But then for 2, because the objects are ordered alphabetically, then it can compare the name to the ones before and after them, because objects with the same name would actually be next to each other in the alphabetical order. So the correct answer is actually yes. Now this video is getting too long, so I'm going to split it up into